Welcome back to Intriguing Facts. When you hear the word evolution, what comes to mind? For many people, it's images of fossils buried in ancient rock, dinosaurs walking the earth millions of years ago, or slow, gradual changes that take eons to unfold. But here's the surprising truth. Evolution is not just a thing of the past. It is happening right now. Quietly, constantly, and sometimes shockingly fast, the living world is adapting and transforming before our very eyes. In this episode, we're going to explore real, documented cases where scientists have witnessed animals evolve in modern times. Not in the distant past, not in theory, but in the present day. Our first stop takes us back to 19th century England, during the height of the Industrial Revolution. At that time, one small insect became the poster child for evolution in action: the peppered moth. Before factories darkened the skies with soot, most peppered moths were light in color. Their pale wings camouflaged them perfectly against tree bark covered in lichen. Birds could barely see them. But then the world changed. Factories belched smoke into the air, and trees became coated in black soot. Suddenly, light-colored moths stood out like beacons to hungry birds. Darker moths, once rare, now had the advantage. They blended into the darkened bark and survived long enough to reproduce. Within just a few decades, the balance of the population flipped. The dark variety became the majority, while the pale moths nearly disappeared. And when pollution controls later cleaned the air, the trees returned to their lighter shade. Once again, pale moths thrived, and their population rebounded. Evolution had unfolded not in millions of years, but in less than a century. Now, let's journey beneath the streets of London, into the maze of the underground. In the darkness of subway tunnels, scientists discovered a surprising twist in the story of mosquitoes. The mosquitoes living underground are not the same as the ones flying above. Surface mosquitoes rely on seasonal warmth, usually bite birds, and have life cycles tied to natural rhythms. But the subway mosquitoes? They've adapted to a very different world. They feed on mammals year-round. They breed in artificial pools of water, ignoring the seasons entirely. And when researchers tried to mate them with their above-ground cousins, they found serious genetic incompatibilities. Some scientists argue that the subway mosquito has become a new species, born not from nature, but from human-made tunnels. A living reminder that evolution doesn't care where it happens, even in the shadows beneath a city. From the underground, we now head to the shores of Croatia, to a small Adriatic island with an extraordinary story. In 1971, scientists introduced a few Italian wall lizards to the island as part of a research project. What happened next stunned everyone. Within just a few decades, the descendants of these lizards looked and behaved very differently. Their jaws grew stronger, their heads became larger. Most shockingly, their digestive systems changed. These lizards, once insect eaters, had evolved new gut structures that allowed them to digest plants. They became herbivores, in a fraction of the time anyone thought possible. Imagine that, an animal shifting its diet entirely, evolving new physical traits to match, all within the span of a human lifetime. It's evolution happening in fast forward, but sometimes evolution isn't just about adapting to nature. Sometimes it's about adapting to survive humans. In Mozambique, elephants have been hunted for their tusks for generations. Poachers targeted the animals with the largest tusks, killing them for ivory. Over time, this relentless pressure reshaped the elephant population. More and more female elephants are now born without tusks. What was once a rare trait has become common. In fact, in some regions, up to 1/3 of female elephants no longer have tusks at all. It is a heartbreaking reminder of how human actions can drive evolution in directions no one expects. An iconic feature of one of the world's most majestic animals is vanishing, because in today's world, tusks can mean death. From giants of the savannah, let's shift to creatures far smaller, the guppies of Trinidad. Scientists studying these tiny fish moved them from predator-filled rivers to safer streams. And then, they watched what happened over generations. In dangerous waters, guppies reproduce quickly, producing many small offspring to maximize their chances of survival. But in the calm, predator-free streams, the fish took a different approach. They grew larger, they reproduced later, and instead of many tiny offspring, they gave birth to fewer, but bigger, stronger young. It was a clear demonstration of evolution in action, guided by the presence or absence of danger. These fish rewrote their survival strategy in just a few generations. When we put all these stories together, the moths of England, the mosquitoes of London, the lizards of Croatia, the elephants of Mozambique, and the guppies of Trinidad, a clear picture emerges. Evolution is not an ancient relic of the past. It is a process happening all the time, around us, beneath us, within the lifetimes of animals we can study today. Think about what that means. Every species on Earth, including humans, is constantly under the quiet influence of change. Small mutations, tiny shifts in behavior, subtle adaptations, these are the ingredients of evolution. And given enough time, they can transform entire species. Some of these changes are slow, almost invisible. Others, as we've seen, can happen shockingly fast, within decades, within years, sometimes within our own lifetimes. Evolution isn't just history written in fossils. It's a living force, shaping the future even as we speak. The world we know today is not the same as the one our ancestors knew, and the world tomorrow will be different again. So, the next time someone tells you evolution takes millions of years, remember the moths that changed color with pollution. Remember the mosquitoes that adapted to subway tunnels. Remember the lizards that reinvented their diet, the elephants that lost their tusks, and the guppies that rewrote their survival strategy. These are not just stories of science. They are proof that evolution is alive, moving, and unstoppable. And that is what makes it truly intriguing. If you enjoyed this journey, make sure to like, share, and subscribe to Intriguing Facts, where we uncover the hidden mysteries of life, nature, and the universe. Because the world is full of secrets, waiting to be revealed.